Welcome to Women Tennis USA. I am your anchor bringing you the latest from the global courts, with analysis informed by the perspective and legacy of Mary Carillo, and tonight the tennis world is still reverberating from a performance that few saw coming and even fewer can stop talking about, as Alex Eala delivered a statement match that has shifted expectations, rewritten assumptions, and forced the sport to look more closely at a young player who stepped onto the court carrying potential and walked off carrying belief. From the opening moments of the match, there was a sense that something different was unfolding. Not because of theatrics or overt displays of emotion, but because of the clarity in Eala's movement, the decisiveness in her shot selection, and the unmistakable calm that settled over her game. This was not a player hoping to hang on, hoping to survive, or hoping to learn. This was a player dictating, shaping points, and controlling tempo against opposition that, on paper, was supposed to be ahead in experience, ranking, and recent results. Tennis has always been a sport where numbers matter, where rankings and seedings frame expectations, but nights like this remind everyone that the game is ultimately played between the lines, not on spreadsheets. Alex Eala's performance was shocking not because she played above her ability, but because she revealed just how wide and deep that ability already is. Her footwork was sharp and economical, allowing her to arrive early and balanced on both wings. Her forehand, long considered a weapon in development, became a point-ending tool, struck with confidence and margin, heavy enough to push opponents back and precise enough to open the court. On the backhand side, she showed versatility, flattening it out down the line when she needed to change direction and rolling it cross-court to reset rallies. There was no panic, no rushing, and no sense that the moment was too big. One of the most striking elements of Eala's performance was her serve. Not simply in terms of speed, but in placement and intent. She mixed locations intelligently, targeting the body to jam returns and going wide at critical moments to pull her opponent off the court. The first serve percentage stayed high, and when she missed, her second serve held up under pressure, kicked with enough spin to avoid being attacked. This allowed her to play service games on her terms, conserving energy and maintaining psychological pressure. In modern women's tennis, where the serve can often be the difference between holding and scrambling, Eala passed an important test. The return games told an equally compelling story. Eala did not simply put the ball back in play, she returned with purpose. She stood her ground on first serves, blocked returns deep, and immediately looked to step inside the baseline on second serves. This proactive mindset sent a clear message: there would be no free points, no easy holds, and no chance to settle into a comfortable rhythm. Over time, that message wears on even the most seasoned opponents, forcing them to press and increasing the likelihood of errors. Mary Carillo has often spoken about the importance of awareness on court, the ability to read patterns, anticipate adjustments, and respond without hesitation. In this match, Eala demonstrated exactly that kind of awareness. When rallies extended, she showed patience, constructing points carefully rather than going for low-percentage winners. When opportunities appeared, she took them decisively. She adjusted her court positioning as the match evolved, stepping in to take time away when she sensed hesitation and backing up slightly when rallies demanded more margin. This adaptability is one of the clearest indicators that a player is not just talented, but ready to compete at a higher level. The mental side of Eala's performance was perhaps the most impressive aspect of all. Tennis history is filled with players who can strike the ball beautifully in practice but struggle to translate that into match play under pressure. Eala showed none of that hesitation. When facing break points, she trusted her patterns. When closing out games and sets, she did not retreat into safety, she leaned into her strengths. Even after losing points or games, her body language remained steady, her focus unwavering. This emotional control is not something that can be taught overnight. It is built through experience, preparation, and a belief that one belongs on the court. As the match progressed, the crowd began to sense the significance of what they were witnessing. There is a particular energy that emerges when an underdog does more than compete, when they begin to assert control and force the favorite to react. That energy fed into Eala's performance without overwhelming it. She acknowledged the moment without being consumed by it, using the support as fuel rather than distraction. For a young player, navigating that balance is crucial, and Eala managed it with remarkable composure. This performance did not come out of nowhere. Those who have followed Eala's development have seen steady progress, a commitment to improvement, and a willingness to put in the work required at the highest level. Training environments, junior success, and incremental gains on the professional circuit all laid the groundwork for a breakthrough moment like this. What made this match different was the stage, the stakes, and the clarity with which Eala announced her readiness to move forward. In women's tennis, the conversation around emerging players is constant. Every season brings new names, new storylines, and new hopes. What separates lasting contenders from fleeting sensations is the ability to back up one strong performance with consistent excellence. Eala's challenge now will be to take what she learned from this match and apply it going forward, maintaining the same standards of preparation and execution regardless of opponent or circumstance. The tennis world will be watching closely, not to see if she can surprise again, but to see if this level becomes her norm. Mary Carillo has long emphasized that growth in tennis is rarely linear. There will be setbacks, difficult losses, and moments of doubt. What matters is how a player responds to those moments, how they integrate lessons, and how they continue to evolve. Eala's performance suggests that she possesses the mindset needed to navigate that journey. She did not rely on emotion or adrenaline alone, she relied on structure, discipline, and trust in her game. Those qualities tend to endure. From a broader perspective, Eala's breakthrough carries significance beyond a single match. It reflects the increasing depth and diversity of women's tennis, where talent is emerging from every corner of the globe and challenging established hierarchies. It underscores the importance of development pathways that nurture not just physical skills, but mental resilience and tactical understanding. And it reminds fans why tennis remains such a compelling sport, capable of delivering moments that defy expectations and inspire new generations. The tactical nuances of the match deserve closer attention. Eala consistently targeted high percentage zones early in rallies, building pressure before changing direction. She used the cross-court forehand to stretch her opponent wide, opening space for the down-the-line backhand. She varied pace and spin, disrupting rhythm and forcing adjustments. At net, she chose her approaches carefully, coming forward behind strong shots and finishing points with confidence. This was not reckless aggression, it was calculated, intelligent tennis. Physically, Eala looked prepared for the demands of the match. Her movement remained sharp deep into the contest, and her recovery between points was efficient. She managed energy well, avoiding unnecessary sprints and choosing when to extend rallies. This physical readiness allowed her to maintain a high level throughout, a critical factor in closing out a match of this magnitude. Conditioning may not always capture headlines, but it often decides outcomes, and in this case, it clearly supported her success. As the final games unfolded, the pressure naturally intensified. Closing out a big win can be one of the most challenging tasks in tennis, especially for a player still establishing herself. Eala approached it with the same mindset that carried her through the opening games. She stuck to her routines, focused on one point at a time, and trusted her instincts. When the final point was played, the significance of the moment was evident, but so was the sense that this was a step in a longer journey, not a destination. The reaction from the tennis community has been swift and enthusiastic. Analysts have praised Eala's poise, former players have highlighted her tactical maturity, and fans have embraced the excitement of a new contender emerging. Comparisons will inevitably follow, as they always do, but the most important thing for Eala will be to remain grounded, to continue building her identity as a player rather than chasing expectations set by others. Mary Carillo often reminds viewers that tennis is as much about storytelling as it is about statistics. Every player brings a narrative shaped by background, choices, and moments of opportunity. Eala's story now includes a chapter that will be referenced again and again, a match that signaled her arrival and invited the world to pay attention. How that story unfolds will depend on countless factors, but this performance has already secured its place as a defining moment. Looking ahead, the implications of this result are significant. Rankings will shift, draws will look different, and opponents will prepare with greater caution. Eala will no longer be underestimated, and that in itself is a new challenge. She will need to continue refining her game, addressing areas that can be improved, and embracing the process of growth. Success at this level is not about one night, but about sustaining excellence over months and years. For fans of women's tennis in the United States and around the world, this performance is a reminder of why the sport continues to captivate. It is a blend of skill, strategy, mental strength, and human drama. It is a stage where preparation meets opportunity and where belief can transform potential into reality. Alex Eala's shocking performance did not just deliver an upset, it delivered a promise of what may come next. As we reflect on this match, it is worth emphasizing that moments like these are built long before the first ball is struck. They are built in training sessions, in matches that do not make headlines, and in the quiet decisions to keep pushing forward. Eala's performance was the visible result of invisible work, and that is perhaps the most powerful takeaway of all. This is Women Tennis USA, and I am honored to bring you this story, informed by the insight and perspective associated with voices like Mary Carillo, as we continue to follow the rise of Alex Eala and the evolving landscape of women's tennis. One match has changed the conversation, and the world will be watching to see where it leads next.